Alright guys, what is going on? We are live, but it's going to take just a moment here to get spun up. I got a couple of administrative things to do as we start this video, and then we will get right into what we're going to be talking about today, and that is the absolutely ridiculous amount of volatility we're seeing in the market today. We're going to talk about what is causing it. There are multiple reasons. China's one of them, but technicals are also one of them. So, give me just a moment. I got to get this shared and get everything up and running, and then we will begin. Bear with me just a moment. Alright, everything's pretty much shared at this point. Got to log into this, log into that. Alright, we got some tools set up here. Also, the reason why I started this without being completely set up is I'm just kind of giving everyone a moment or two to tune in, and then once there's some viewers, we'll get started here. Alright, let's modify. Alright, and now we are truly live. Anyways, what's going on, guys? My name is Craig Piper. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It was a long week for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's Friday, September the 15th, and there's a lot going on today. A lot to talk about. A lot of news and an absolutely mind-blowing amount of volatility in the market today. I'm not sure that I'm live. Let me verify. Alright, and we're definitely live. Anyways, okay, so check out this chart. You are looking at Bitcoin versus the US dollar. That's what this chart is. So the last couple of days, I did a live stream on YouTube the other day. Pretty much over the week prior, I was live streaming all over Facebook, talking about the price action that we've seen ever since the 1st of September, right? We pretty much hit $5,000. I mean, within $20 of the $5,000 threshold. Basically, we hit it, and then we started tumbling, right? So, in short, we dropped about 10% in a day or less. We started recovering. China hit the headlines. They started throwing some bad news at us. They started banning ICOs, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we fall all the way to 4,000. We don't manage to hold it. I mean, we do for a few days, but then we keep falling. And yesterday, the market got absolutely destroyed. You can see that right there. We fell from about $3,900 all the way down to $3,000. And as soon as we hit 3,000, as soon as we hit that level, we bounced like a bouncy ball right off of the $300 threshold, like it was a bulletproof shield or something. And this is what I've been talking about over the past week, all right? Look at this purple line right here. That is the 100-day moving average. That's where we sit right now. Now, it did not provide any support at all as we were falling yesterday, or throughout this morning. We fell all the way down to $3,000, which I also talked about yesterday in my live stream. $3,000 is a very, very key psychological support level, as are these previous peaks. This is the June peak and the July peak, and together, the two of those lend an incredible amount of support. And that's why the market has been buoyed over the past day. So I mean, look at that absolute flash crash right there, and then the recovery is even more impressive. We recovered the entire candle so far over the past 12 hours, or even less than that. We're right back up to $3,800. Let's look at the live price over here. Look at all that green. Everything's up double digits. Omise Go, up 25% since this morning. I think it was down 8% or so last I looked. Now it's up 25.6. Absolutely incredible. try to find something that's red. Dogecoin, okay, nobody cares about Dogecoin. I mean, I have some, but that's like a Hail Mary. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's more of an experiment. Um, Purecoin, this I don't understand. Purecoin has been trading completely in line with Bitcoin over the past month or so, but Bitcoin's up double digits and Purecoin is still down 5%. It's seen very, very low trading volume today. The last trade was 38 minutes ago. At one point, Crypto Compare was saying there had been no trades within the past like 2 hours, I think. So I don't understand what's going on with Purecoin. Might just be a delayed response. I'm not sure. But Bitcoin is holding that $3,800 pretty strong. Let's go back to Bittrex. I'm sorry, Bitfinex. And okay, so I lied. We're not holding at the 100-day moving average. That's what we bounced off of. All right, so you can see yesterday's candle landed right on it, and then today, that's where we started. We fell all the way down to the $3,000 support, and then now we're way up here at the $3,800 level. So what else is moving markets today? Not only is it the support, not only is it the psychological response that we saw from just hitting that $3,000 threshold, also we saw some pretty intense news today. First and foremost, let's talk about the Bitcoin markets. This headline right here: rebound as more Chinese exchanges plan to close operations. However, I'm going to cover some key points in this article. They're not closing down right away. They are giving customers time to actually pull their money off the exchange, so they're not going to be losing money. And so this is very, very key. Those coins are not just going to disappear, and the customers will have an opportunity to liquidate their holdings. October 31st is when this is going to go down. Huobi and OKCoin, both closing down on the 31st of October, so that gives us a month and a half to kind of sort this out. Now, on top of that, where was it? There's another very key part of this headline. I'm trying to find out where'd it go. All right, well, I guess I'm going to leave it at that. Let's go back and see what some of the other key headlines are for the day. This is pretty funny. I haven't read it yet. Bitcoin proponents respond to JP Morgan's executive conference. That was 18 hours ago. That's probably old news at this point. Okay, this I saw earlier. This is incredible. The cryptocurrency site coinmarketcap.com. That's this over here. I use it as well. It's probably my second favorite crypto site, right after Crypto Compare. But so it's now one of the top 400 most visited websites in the entire world. I mean, is that surprising? How many of us go there dozens of times a day, 100 times a day? Hit the refresh button, see what's going on. It's a very powerful tool for tracking the price. The only downfall to that is CoinMarket. Oh, I mean, it doesn't track prices real time like Crypto Compare does. So, oh, you know what? I just realized. I'll be right back. All right, that should help the sound quality. I had my air conditioner running in the background. I apologize. Anyways, so back to the news. Holding 3,800. Looks like we're still climbing. Ethereum at 266, Litecoin at 54. So essentially, in all my streams, I've been saying the 3,200 level was the time to buy because that was a 100-day moving average. That's where we would find our first level of support. So I put my money where my mouth is, and I did. I did buy in at that point. I knew that we were likely going to continue falling, but I wanted to get in because in case that I was wrong, I wanted to have some money on the table. So that's what I did. It kept falling, and then it bounced off 3,000. Now it's going up. But so Bitcoin I bought at 3,200. Seen some pretty good profits there. Ethereum I bought at 230, and so that's up $36. I mean, we're up 15-20% since I bought it. That's not bad at all. Litecoin I bought at 48. It's now at 54. So pretty happy with what time did I buy that? It was like 6 o'clock this morning. Now it's so 10 hours ago. 10 hours and I mean everything's up like 15%. So that's pretty impressive. But for those of you just turning in, I'm going to kind of start over and talk about the technicals again. Um, Again, over the last couple of days, I've been bringing up this chart, and I've been talking about the support levels, the 50-day moving average, that's that blue line you see right here, and the 100-day moving average, the purple line that you see right here. The 100-day moving average is about $3,800 now. It was 3,900. It has fallen, and then the 100-day moving average is still at about 3,200. And although I was wrong, and it really did not lend any support as this was falling this morning. We fell all the way down to 3,000 very, very quickly. Um, the $3,000 did lend an incredible amount of support. I mean, look at that bounce. Like a freaking bouncy ball, right? Just boing right back up to $3,800 where we are right now. The reason for that, there was an incredible amount of psychological support at that $3,000 level. An incredible amount. And then there's basically convergence with that in the $100 support level, and also the 38% retrace level that I was also talking about. So here, this is the previous all-time high set back in June 2017. We fell down to about $1,900. This was, it took about a month, right? So this sell-off happened much, much faster. But the sell-off was about the same percentage. Let's see here. Let me calculate this for you. Crunch the numbers. So we fell from 5,000 to 3,000. That's $2,000. 2,000 divided by 5,000. I really don't need a calculator for that. That's 40%. So we retraced 40% from the all-time high. We retraced 38% from the all-time high between June and July of this year. So pretty comparable in that respect. And like I said, the convergence was right there at $3,000, and there was just so much support right there at that level. So I was confident enough to buy in. I knew that the risk was incredibly low at that point, and the reward incredibly high. I mean, look at that. Look at that candle right there. Bam. 33,000 all the way up, almost all the way up to 4,000. Well, we're at 3,800. We'll probably hit 38 or 4,000 by the end of the night. Although, you know what, we have been at 3,800 for a little while, and that is now where the 50-day moving average lies. So it might actually have turned into a resistance level. I hadn't even thought about that until just now. I'm not sure. Anyways, if you're just now tuning in, my name's Creighton Piper. This is like my second live stream on YouTube. I'm going to be monitoring the comment section. If you guys have any questions, if you want to chime in at all, please ask your questions. I will keep an eye on the chat, and I'll answer them as best I can. Now let's move on over to CryptoPanic.com. I've talked about this a couple times, mostly on my Facebook streams, but this is an invaluable resource. Anytime a coin shows a notable price movement, bam, it gives you a quick blurb, it basically generates a headline, and it pops up in this column over here. It also fetches headlines from all over the internet, from Reddit, from my website, cryptoanswers.net. For the most part, whenever a headline hits the internet, you can find it right here, almost real time. The delay is like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. So very, very, very good place to find real-time news. Looks like there's nothing too crazy there right now. I've already talked about this. The Bitcoin market is rebounding as more Chinese exchanges plan to close operations. I don't think this is really having any impact on the price of Bitcoin and the crypto market overall today. I mean, I wouldn't say this is overly positive news. We're talking about Huobi and OKCoin. They are going to close operations on the 31st of October. They met today with the Chinese government, and that was the ruling. This is positive news to an extent. You know what? I might need to mute this. I don't know if I'm getting feedback. Hopefully not. Okay, it's already muted. Back to the news. So it's not closing until the 31st of October. I think the markets were afraid that everything was just going to cold turkey close right away. People were going to lose money. They were going to lose their coins. It was going to disappear, and there would be absolute chaos. As it turns out, that's not what is happening. At least the Chinese government is giving a little bit of leeway here in allowing them to remain open until the 31st of October and let everyone close out their positions in an organized fashion. So, kind of proud of the Chinese government in a way. Um, it says a lot. I mean, it's a communist country. They can do what they want to a large extent, but at least they are working with Huobi and OKCoin, and they're letting them handle this in a professional manner. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to take you guys to cryptoanswers.net. This is the website that I'm working with. Alan Steinberg is our editor-in-chief. He's an awesome dude. That's his picture right there. And we're producing a pretty good product. And right now our target is beginner crypto heads, right? So we just finished our quick start guides. And if you guys are just learning about Bitcoin, you want to learn more about blockchain and mining and all these terms that are tossed around, you just want some beginner knowledge, come check out our quick start guides. We just completed them, and we poured an unbelievable amount of time into making a pretty good product that will teach you guys the basics. Also, we just uploaded this last night. It was like 11 o'clock, yeah, maybe midnight or so. Talking about digital coin. This was their press release. They just introduced a blockchain platform for smart cities. I just interviewed their CEO moments ago. We just got off of a Google Meets interview, and it blew my mind. The stuff he was talking about absolutely blew my mind. This project is incredibly promising. They are live. Their blockchain platform is live in all the articles I read said 20,000 cities, but between then and now, they've gone live in 2,000 more cities. They're live in 22,000 cities now. What this project really does is they have their own proprietary search software, similar to what Google uses, but a little bit different in their own personalized way. Basically, there's a website that corresponds to each town, each city, and citizens can go there. They can search for products, and it will find businesses that are local, and you can shop there. And it makes this. I don't explain this as well as the CEO of the company does. His name is um, Robert Monster, which is an awesome name to begin with, but he is incredibly intelligent. He knows the in and outs of blockchain and this business. And by tomorrow evening, I still need to make some edits to that video, but then I'll upload it. And I highly recommend you guys come to cryptoanswers.net and check it out. You're going to learn a lot about the Digital Town project and how incredibly promising it is. They are going to be offering their own coin. It's not live yet. They're going to be airdropping it sometime in 2018. Essentially, how did he explain it? They've already rolled this out in 22,000 cities. It is live. However, it's not fully functional. They're going to launch full functionality in early 2018, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of evolves around that and how it influences the price of their coin and the price of their company. Actually, let me pull this up. Do I want to pull it up? Yeah, I do. Okay. So the company is publicly traded. It's traded on the pink sheets currently, and it's called Digital Town Incorporated. It's 19 cents per share right now, and the reason is they don't really have any income at this point. That's because they're not fully functional. 2018 is when that's going to happen, and we're at the end of fiscal year 2017 right now. So that is very, very soon. That's right around the corner. We are just about to see some all the excitement really take off surrounding digital coins. So now's probably a pretty good time. I mean, you can choose between investing in the coin when that comes out, or investing in the company right now. We talk a little bit about valuation in the video. I was asking him. The price of Digital Town has been trading down as of late. I asked him if there was a correlation. He said no, he didn't think so. It was just because the company hasn't fully launched yet. The product is not marketed to its fullest potential, but early 2018 that'll happen. So there's a lot up and coming for Digital Town, and I'm going to continue to follow that. We will upload the audio and video interview to cryptoanswers.net, and you can find it there. Now let's go back to the live chart over here. Bitcoin is actually falling off of the today's high of 3,800, but just a bit. We're still at 14%, almost 14 and a half. Ethereum coming in at 262 right now. Litecoin at 54. Mise Go really making waves today. It's at 1023, up 23% on the day. The all-time high is $13. It's I think there's still some money to be made if you want to get in Mise Go. I don't have a position in it. I wish I would have. I wish I would have had the time to intelligently position myself today. I haven't had a moment. I've been running guns since 6 a.m. this morning. I went straight into work. I came home, went straight into that interview, and now I'm live streaming. I should be distributing my portfolio, but I'm not. I'm live streaming because I want to talk to you guys about this. It's been in my mind all day long, and I've been chomping at the bit to go live. Really, I'm pretty proud of the predictions that I made. I don't know if any of you that are tuning in now tuned in yesterday or the day before, or if any of my Facebook Live followers have kind of filtered over to YouTube. But the predictions that I made were bold, but they were technically sound. And as it turns out, spot on. Absolutely spot on. For those viewers that are new and just checking in, I've been talking about how $3,000 was going to be rock bottom. There are technical reasons for that. The June all-time high, the July peak provided a lot of technical resistance. $3,000 in and of itself provided that psychological resistance, and as it turned out, $3,000 was a bulletproof shield. We hit it, and like a bouncy ball, ricocheted right off. We went from 3,000 up to 3,800 in a matter of hours. It took about I've just been holding there for a couple hours, probably 6 or 8 hours it took to go from 3,000 to 3,800. Absolutely crazy. The volatility we're seeing today is almost unprecedented, even with Bitcoin. I mean, you can look at the trade volume. Even I mean, this is the all-time high. Look at that sell-off. It was a 38% sell-off between June and July. Quite a bit of trade volume in there, but look at that. Nothing in comparison to what we've seen today. Not even close. This is just mind-blowing. And that's good for a lot of reasons. For anyone that's in BitConnect, the payout is going to be absolutely stupid. We've seen almost 2% over the past 2 days. That's 2% interest per day. And today it's going to be even higher, I'm sure, because look at that candle there. Look at that trade volume. Absolutely insane. So, oh man, there's a lot to talk about today. A lot going on. Looks like we're moving right back up to that $3,800 level, gathering some more support before we head upwards. I think we're going to be seeing some new all-time highs here pretty soon. I mean, we're up $800 since we hit the low for the day, and I don't think we're done. I really don't think that we're done. Maybe when we encounter the $4,000 threshold again, there might be a little bit of kickback, maybe a little bit of a pullback there, but I think it'll be short-lived, and I think we're going to keep going north. The reason for that, China is going to, those headlines are going to fade away. I think we just pretty much heard our last negative news come out of China. Now, like I said, those exchanges are closing down on the 31st of October, and we have a month and a half before that happens. So I think we're going to start to see some positive headlines take over. We're going to start talking about Byzantium again and Constantinople. Those are upgrades and possible hard forks that are coming to Ethereum in the near future. Actually, it's the 15th of September. I think testnet launches on Ethereum on the 18th of September. So that's in just a few days. I'm sure there's going to be headlines, and that's going to spark some excitement for Ethereum. And then it goes live on, it's in October. It's like the 11th or 12th of October. Byzantium should go live. So very curious to see what that brings. That hard fork is going to present a, what do they call it? A difficulty bomb. It's going to make mining Ethereum much more difficult. And I'm not really sure how that's going to affect the price? I assume the excitement surrounding it will be positive, and the price action will be positive. But if it becomes harder to mine it, I don't know. It's possible that that miners could start to filter into other currencies, maybe back to Bitcoin. Um, but I don't know. Who knows? It is going to help the scalability. It's going to solve some of the issues that Ethereum is witnessing, and I think long term is going to be a very good thing. But I don't know. We're going to have to see exactly what comes of that. Another thing I want to talk about is Omise Go. Now, sadly, regrettably, I don't have a position in Omise Go, but their product is revolutionary. They have more to offer than any other altcoin out there. Um, Shoot, they probably offer more than all of them combined. The reason for that is, where did I find this? Okay, disregard, not Omisego. I'm not talking about Omisego. I'm talking about IOTA. IOTA, that stands for Internet of Things, and the A on the end really is not. It's not supposed to be an A. It's supposed to be a Greek symbol that represents. It's a word for very, very, very small, right? So obviously we're working with. They want to be the king of like microtransactions and stuff. So it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. I think the branding there is just brilliant. But so what makes IOTA so revolutionary is Tangle, right? This is their proof system, their proof type. Tangle is different from proof of work. It's different than proof of stake. Those are probably the two most common proof systems out there. But Tangle is completely different and so much better. What it does is it combines the mining aspect and the transaction aspect. So you're doing both things at once when you transact using IOTA. Essentially, as you make your transaction, you have to verify two other transactions. So instead of having miners to do that for you, there are no need for miners. You are the miner. You are the transaction initiator, but you are also the miner. So you're providing the same services. You are verifying and securing the network, just like miners do. Um, Miners of like Ethereum or Bitcoin, you're verifying the transactions as you go. So that there's absolutely no need for any miners or anything like that. This is revolutionary. This is amazing because um, I'm gonna get a little bit off topic here. I was thinking the other day about the longevity of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other altcoins, and I was thinking about the proof systems, right? I was wondering if there's a way that blockchain could continue without any currencies. And the reason why I was thinking about I was thinking about the worst case scenario. What happens if blockchain continues to exist but all these coins don't? The reason why I was thinking about that is, I mean, if Bitcoin, if everything goes to zero, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. But I was trying to think if that is even a possibility. And the more I thought about Tangle, I don't want to get too, I don't want to freak people out when I say this, but I think Tangle, that system, could actually make that a possibility. Now, if we were limited to proof of work and proof of stake, then I mean, you need currencies. There's no way around it. You have to have currencies to run that system. There has to be miners. There has to be a currency in the case of proof of stake, because what are you staking? You're staking the currency. You paid money for it. You're holding it. You are securing that system by that virtue. So there has to be a currency there. But with Tangle, we can almost leave cryptocurrency in the past and move forward with only blockchain. I mean, blockchain is the fundamental technology beneath almost all of these altcoins. Um, and it's the most impressive part of this movement. Moving forward, it is possible, I think very, very unlikely, that blockchain could survive, whereas Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these other coins do not. It's a possibility. Again, the absolute worst possible doomsday scenario. I don't think that's going to happen. I just was trying to think if it's even a possibility. I don't think I explained that very well. Um, it's actually a pretty crazy thought. It's almost like for any religious people out there thinking about like what would happen if there's no heaven? What happens after death? What if there is no afterlife? It's almost the same concept of thinking what if blockchain and cryptocurrency separate and is there a possibility that blockchain survives and crypto does not? That's what I'm trying to get at there. I hope I broke that down and made it understandable. Anyways, let's get back to the crypto market because I think that's what you guys want to hear about. Anyways, so we fell off that $3,800 high just a little bit. We're down to like what 3,750. Now we're back up to 3,800 and we surpassed it. So like I said, I think we're going to keep climbing. Bitcoin's up 15.5%. Ethereum is up almost 15%. Litecoin, for whatever reason, lagging behind at 13%. Prior to the pullback, Litecoin was outshining Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I don't know why it's lagging behind now, but it is. Omise Go, I think, is probably one of the big winners today, up over 25%. So I'm going to keep my eye on Omise Go. I wish I would have bought some. I intended to, but I did not have time to do so. Ripple. I don't understand that either. It's only up 7%. I think Ripple is one of the most promising altcoins out there. I think as far as risk to reward ratios are concerned, Ripple has one of the best. Because it's backed by the banks, I don't like that. I hate the idea, but I think that in back to the doomsday scenario, most of these coins are going to fail. Okay, scrolling down like YoCoin. What the hell is YoCoin? Woodcoin. Like a lot of this stuff is going to go away. Um, the companies, the project developers behind them, as it turns out, they're not going to have what it takes to be truly successful, and they're going to go away. In the end, I think we'll probably be left with the top 5 or 10% survive, and I think Ripple will be one of the survivors. Omise Go, I think, will be one of the survivors. These top 3, probably. I think Bitcoin will be around forever, just because it was the first. It has that household name. It has such a powerful reputation. If anyone talks about cryptocurrency, they can barely get through a sentence without saying Bitcoin. Bitcoin, Bitcoin. But everyone compares the different currencies to Bitcoin, and it's for good reason. Everybody knows what it is. Give me a moment. All right, now let's talk about 10x. This is something else that has kind of surprised me. Most recent price, $2.13. Okay, it's finally recovering. It was really lagging behind there for a little while, and I didn't understand it. 10x is my second biggest holding right behind Ethereum. I think their program is incredibly promising. They do have debit cards live. Their program is already active. If you have the app and the card, you can use it. You can swipe it at pretty much any location that accepts Visa, and you can use your cryptocurrency. It'll just liquidate it on the spot. It gives the vendor US dollars. Pretty cool deal, pretty promising, and the CEO is a genius. I forget his name. He used to be a doctor. Now he's call him a crypto doctor, I suppose. He was a medical doctor, and he has a lot of really good things planned for 10x. I follow him in LinkedIn. He gives constant updates about what's going on behind the scenes. Very transparent company, very promising. So I like 10x. It's only up 16.4. Actually, that's same thing we're seeing in Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Up 14%, 15%. 10x is up 16%. So I guess I'm not surprised. I kind of thought that it would outpace Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's why I have most of my holdings in it. But so far, it is not. It is keeping pace, so that's good. Still making money. All right, let's go back to the news. Let's check out Crypto Panic, see what's new. Yep, I almost forgot to check the comments. What do we have here? Anything? Nope. If you guys have any questions, if you have questions on a particular currency, a particular event, even if you want to talk about stocks, that's where I started. I started with stocks. Now I moved to cryptocurrency. I'm willing to talk about just about anything at this point. So let me know if you guys have a question, comment, or concern. Um, all right, so headlines. Panic as Chinese cryptocurrency exchanges announce impending trading halt. Not even worried about that anymore. China is about to drop out of the news, and we're headed up. 38.12, still holding that $2,800 mark. What else is there? See if there's anything new at news.bitcoin. Nada. I'm curious. Let's check Reddit. Let's see what's on Reddit. Let's go to cryptocurrency news. Down 38%. Man, that is a magic number. I called it. I called it. The 38 to 40% level right at $3,000. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was so transparent. That's why I love the cryptocurrency market. Like I said, I started with stocks. I started trading stocks, and that's kind of how I learned to analyze the market. But the crypto market is so much more transparent. It's so much easier to read, and it's so much more volatile. So there's more money to be made. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You bought a Misego, you're up 22.5% today. You're holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're up 15%. You're not going to find that in the stock market. You're absolutely not. And back to the volatility, I mean, granted, you can lose a lot of money too. But it's so easy to see this stuff coming. We hit $5,000 and market plummeted after that. Did you not see that coming? I mean, I was talking about it before it happened, and it was self-fulfilling. I mean, this stuff is so transparent. It's unbelievable. If you haven't checked out my past videos, check out yesterday's live stream. I talked about the fundamentals behind Bitcoin, the moving averages, the technical and psychological support levels. Everything converged at $3,000. Everything between 3,000 and 3,200, anyways. And as it turns out, spot on. $3,000 held, very, very strong, and now we're back up to 3,800. And now it's possible. I was listening to Peter Schiff this morning. I think he is the most brilliant economist in the world. I really value what he has to say. And if any of you have been, I'm sure everyone that follows crypto at this point has heard of Peter Schiff, and you're well aware of his opinion. He's very, very bearish on Bitcoin. All of the cryptocurrencies he's bearish on, but especially Bitcoin because it has all the attention, right? So he was predicting that there could be a possible false bull run, right? So there's a possibility, a very small possibility, that that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, it's possible that we're running all the way back up to $3,800, $4,000, maybe even higher, and then it comes crashing back down again. It's possible. That's kind of what he's predicting. I don't think so. Now, I agree with Peter Schiff on pretty much every word that comes out of his mouth. I mean, everything he says is just magic. And I mean, he's kind of got me to doubt the crypto market once or twice. Right now, I'm feeling pretty strong, pretty confident in the market because all the technical levels held up, and it's good to see that happen. I don't know that he has approached it from a technical standpoint. I don't think he's even bothered to look at the moving averages and all that stuff. He just looks at it as, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, they are not a store of value in his opinion, and that's because they're not backed by anything. What I don't understand is why he has faith in the US dollar over cryptocurrencies, because the US dollar is backed by even less. It's backed by nothing. Let's go to Debt Clock. Let's check this out. Debtclock.org. Yesterday, I think I pulled this up in a live stream. We were at $20.165 trillion in debt. Now we're at $20.167 trillion in debt. I mean, you can watch hundreds of thousands of dollars per second be added to the debt here, and there's no way to pay it back. There's absolutely no freaking way to pay that back. The debt to GDP ratio is now over 100%. What that means, if the federal government, if the U.S. government taxed everyone at 100%, they just took all of our money that we earned for the entire year. First off, then how would anyone live? It's impossible. So they can't do that. But if they did, it would still take 100% of all the GDP, 100% of all the taxes for 1 year to pay down our national debt. It's never going to happen. I don't think the lawmakers and um, the Fed, the what's the word I'm looking for? No one has the intent to pay this down. There's no way. And the U.S. is not the only country that's in this much debt. Or well, okay, certainly we have the biggest number associated with our debt. But if you look at it from debt to GDP ratios, I mean Japan, I think it's like 250% debt to GDP. Japan debt to GDP. Government debt to GDP, 250.40%. That was pretty close. My guess is pretty close there. Um, Absolutely asinine. Where are they going to get that money? How are they ever going to make that happen? Do they have any intention of paying back that money? My guess is no. And this is universal around the world. Governments are going bankrupt. And I mean, they all have their own, or most of them have their own native currency. Um, the United States is not special in that context. And what happens when they go bankrupt? Usually the currencies become worthless. Hyperinflation takes over, and at that point, you want to get out as quickly as possible. I think we are kind of just getting ahead of that curve at this point by getting into cryptocurrency. Yes, it's volatile, but what happens when it falls? It spikes right back up incredibly fast, and long term, you're not going to lose your money. Long term, compared to the US dollar, compared to fiat, cryptocurrency is doing amazingly well. If you would have bought in even at the peak in June, Peter Schiff and some of these people are saying you got to sell, you got to sell, you got to get out, you got to get out now. Look at this bubble, look at this insane bubble, right? And then it quote unquote collapses down to $1,900 from 3,000, and now they feel justified because they predicted the collapse of this bubble. No, then it goes up to 5,000. Now at 5,000, we tumbled down to 3,000, and so now you have Jamie Dimon come out. Oh, Bitcoin's a bubble. See, look, I told you Bitcoin is a fraud. It's absolute BS. Blah blah blah. And they feel completely justified because it's going down. Now it's going back up. Where's Jamie Dimon? Where are all these people um, calling out Bitcoin just to make headlines, just to gain some attention, and because it makes sense as it's falling? Where are they now? They're not going to open their mouth. Not today. And we're going to go on to make new highs. I'm not going to guarantee that, but I feel confident enough that I am putting my money where my mouth is. I am making the investment, and guess what? It's paying off. So I'm incredibly, incredibly happy with what has happened today. How did I even get there? How did I get to debt to GDP? Oh yeah, so fiat currency backed by absolutely nothing. It's only backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government, right? And the all the other fiat currencies, in my opinion, are backed by even less. The euro is a catastrophe waiting to happen. Um, the Britain, right? I don't know if you guys are aware of what do they call it, Brexit. Britain is pulling out of the euro. They're pulling out of the European Union, and the headlines in relation to this have been very, very negative. Um, this has been going on for a year or more, I think, at this point. They're trying to figure out how this is even going to happen. I mean, they're so well integrated into the European Union, into the euro, into that system that yeah, it's difficult to pull out at this point. Agreed, but I think they're making the right decision. The euro, I mean, I think the New World Order had, I mean, there's no doubt about it. They've said this. They foresee a one world currency in the future. I think the euro was kind of supposed to be that one world currency, but it was a disaster. And I think Britain is not going to be the first country to pull out. I think other countries will follow, and Britain is just kind of setting a shining example in that respect. When I heard that, when I heard the headline, I was stoked. I think they made the right decision, and I think we're going to see Britain's economy in the long run perform better than the rest of the European Union because they are abandoning the euro. Their currency is actually worth more than the euro at this point, anyways. So they need to get back to that, back to the fundamentals, and long term, this is really going to pan out well for them, in my opinion. Um, so then, crypto, Bitcoin, right? What is it backed by? Well, I mean, it's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything super tangible in that respect, but it is backed by the same full faith of the people who use it. I mean, you and I we're all about Bitcoin, right? There are more and more uses for it every day. You can use it with your 10x card. You can use it through BitPay. There's all kinds of websites popping up where you can go invest. Um, Basically, give them your money, and they give you. I'm sorry, you give them your cryptocurrency. They accept cryptocurrency in exchange for gift cards. So then you can use your gift cards at Home Depot, Amazon, freaking all these countries that don't personally and directly accept Bitcoin, but they do indirectly via uh, via those gift cards, right? And let's go back to cryptoanswers.net, right? Because we do have a guide on this. Where is it? Using cryptocurrencies, right? Go to the main page, go to Quick Start Guides, drop down, using cryptocurrencies. And I talk about this. Overstock.com accepts Bitcoin directly. That's pretty awesome. They set the precedent there, and I really respect them for that. Newegg, they accept Bitcoin, I think directly, and definitely via BitPay. Microsoft, same story. Subway, at least at one point in time, they accepted Bitcoin. And although Subway is completely franchised out, not all of them accept Bitcoin. Some of them do. So you just need to check and see if your local Subway does. That's pretty cool. But what I was talking about is where is it? eGifter. Is there a what? There was a whole section on eGifter that I was supposed to publish. I may need to revisit that. Anyways, so here you go. This is egifter.com. You can buy, look, Amazon, AMC, Best Buy, Applebee's, American Eagle, iTunes, all of these name brand staple companies, Home Depot. You want to renovate your house? You can do it with your Bitcoin. You want to buy music? You can do it with your Bitcoin. Now, there are better alternatives coming out. There are decentralized applications coming out to launch music. Um, there's also an article that I wrote on Crypto Answers about that. It's going to allow these producers, these music producers, to launch their music on decentralized platforms and get 100% of all that profit. Now, compare that to iTunes. iTunes takes on average between like 91 to 94% of all of the profit that comes from the music. So, what's like a really popular Kesha? I don't like Kesha. I don't like her music, but she's pretty popular, right? You probably recognize the name. So let's say she uploads a song to iTunes and it sells for 99 cents. It goes for $1. Well, she's going to get about, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 8 cents if she's lucky. 8 cents from every song that is sold is going to go to Kesha. The other 90 whatever cents is going to go to her producer and iTunes. iTunes takes like 40 or 50% off the top. The rest goes to the producer. And then the actual talent gets pennies on the dollar. And that's a shame. But these decentralized music platforms, they're going to fix that. And that's really exciting. Anyways, I got off on a tangent after tangent after tangent. Let's get back to the crypto market. How about that? Pretty much no movement since we last covered this. Bitcoin's still at $3,800. Ethereum is 64. They're still both up at about 15%. At least they go flat over the past 15 minutes. Ripple flat over the past 15. Neo, they're up 12%. I'm kind of surprised to see them recover as quickly as they are, just because they are so closely associated with China and with all of that negative news. Oh man, Dash. Okay, this is probably the best altcoin out there. The more I read about it, the more I hear about it, the more I like it. It's up 21%. That's not surprising. We saw $200 not very long ago. Now it's at 300. I should have bought some Dash, man. I should have bought some Dash, and so should you. Hopefully you did. Maybe you're smarter than I am. Purecoin's still flat. I don't get it. I don't understand. No transactions over the past hour. It's still down 2%, whereas everything else is up double digits at 120. I'm gonna refresh this. I mean, it's real time, but maybe something weird is going on. Nope, still at 120. No transactions in the past hour. Poor Purecoin, lonely and forgotten down there. All right, so there you go. Let's see if we have any questions in the chats. Absolutely no feedback at all. Come on, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you like my technical breakdown, if you like the news coverage, if you like my personal opinions on some of this off-the-wall stuff like the proof system and what I think about blockchain and cryptocurrency and how they could possibly split ways in the future. I mean, blockchain is going to be in everything here pretty soon. Blockchain is expanding much faster than cryptocurrency is. The awareness is expanding faster than that of cryptocurrency. I mean, if you're tapped into this community, then it feels like Bitcoin is everywhere because we focus on it so much, we pay so much attention. When in reality, it's not. The awareness is still very low. But blockchain, all these massive companies, BHP Billiton, I touched on this in one of my articles on cryptointerest.net. They are starting to integrate blockchain technology. Now, as of yet, they're not interested in cryptocurrency, but they are interested in blockchain. And this is what I'm talking about, where the two could basically hard fork, and crypto could possibly taper off, whereas blockchain could continue to be adopted in the future. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. If I did, I would not be investing so much of my cash in it. But anyways, back on a tangent, back to the market, back to the technicals, right? I think most of the people that are in the live stream right now are new. So I'm going to go back to the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average, right? I predicted that the 50-day moving average would give us some support, and it did. We held there for about 12 hours before falling all the way down to 3,000. Now 3,000 is, if you want proof, check yesterday's stream. Go to the cryptocurrency page, the cryptointerest.net cryptocurrency Facebook page. Check out my live streams there. I said over and over and over again that $3,000 was going to be the support level that held. That was the absolute lowest. Now, what I did not foresee is falling from 3,900 from the 50-day moving average all the way down to $3,000 in half a day. I didn't see that happening. That blew my mind. I started getting, I don't want to say worried, but I guess I lost a little bit of faith in some of the fundamentals because we shot right through that 100-day moving average. I mean, 100 days at $3,200, and there was barely a pause at 3,200 at all. We fell all the way down to 3,000, all the way down to that psychological support level and the previous high there we saw in June and almost in July. But I was right. I feel incredibly redeemed. I am pretty excited. I've been just elated all day long and wanting to go live about this and talk to you guys and let you know the results because I was spot on. If you need proof, please go look at my other my live streams. Spot on, almost to the dollar. Anyways, so here we're at $3,800. Ooh, falling a little bit, $3,745. I kind of hope we drop down to 3,000 because I mentioned this earlier, but for anyone that's new, you missed it. I was planning on dropping every penny that I had in my Coinbase account and in the bank account that I have linked. Every penny I was going to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and 10x when it hit 3,000. It didn't happen. I was at work when that went down. I did buy in. I got Bitcoin at 3,300 or 3,200. I'm sorry. Ethereum was at 230. Litecoin I got at 48. So I'm pretty happy because I know we're going to go right back up to 5,000 where we were before. I wanted to make sure I had some holdings, but I didn't go all in because there was a pretty good chance at that point I knew that we were going to see 3,000, and we did, and that's where the serious money was to be made, and I missed the opportunity. So sucks to be me, but at least I'm making some money. All right, still no comments in the live chat. I am still surprised. I wonder if I need to refresh this. I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm just missing these comments somehow. But let me know what you guys think. What are you invested in? What's your favorite pick of the day? I mean, right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, they're trading completely parallel. They're all up about 13%. But is there anything that you picked out that you thought would outperform like the top 5? If so, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to comment on it and let me know in the comment section. I refreshed it, still no comments. So, all right, moving on. Let's see. What does CryptoPanic have to offer? Nothing new, nothing interesting. All right, so one thing I really haven't talked about today is, I mean, I addressed the fundamentals of what we expect as Bitcoin fell, right? As we saw lower and lower levels. What I was talking about the last couple of days is where the support is going to be when you should buy. Now at this point, it looks like we're going back up. This is a pretty convincing rally at this point. We're all the way back up to 3,800, or we were. Now we're just below. So now we need to get looking back to the future again. For those of you that are not in this for the very, very long term, for those of you that don't want to hold this currency forever and accept the risk that is associated with it, eventually you're going to want to sell it, right? You're going to want to realize those profits. So I haven't given this much thought, but where do we want to sell? I'm thinking we're not very far off the $4,000 threshold. I think there will be some resistance when we encounter it. There might be another pullback. I think it'll be short-lived. I think we'll push all the way back up to 5,000, right? That's the all-time high, and I think we're going to get back up there without much difficulty at all. Probably by the end of the month. I think by the end of the month we'll see 5,000, and I think there's going to be another pullback. I think it'll be substantial. Maybe 20% pullback, maybe back down to 4,000. No, I don't think it'll be that substantial. Maybe down to 4,500. Like I said, I haven't given this much thought. I'm just kind of crunching the numbers in my head right now. But I don't think we're going to push straight through 5,000. I don't think it's going to happen. So let's look at June and July of 2017. This is a few months ago, right? So we hit the all-time high here. There's a sell-off over the month. Sold off 38% down to 1,900. And now we run up right back to almost the same level. Here we're at like 2,950. Here we're at like 2,850 or 2,900, right? And then there's another sell-off. I think that's exactly what's going to happen when we get back up to 5,000. I know for me, in my personal opinion, for everything that I bought this morning, when did I buy? Everything is kind of melting together at this point in my head. But if we get up to 5,000, I'm gonna take some profits. There's going to be a lot of profit in it at that point, and I'm going to want to take some off the table. And I'm pretty confident that there will be a pullback at 5,000. Furthermore, even if we hit new all-time highs, there's a pretty good chance that that we'll pull back to 4,000 or 5,000 in the distant future. Just based off of, I mean, it happened here, it happened here. We'll probably run up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and then there'll be another pullback, and then that'll be another good opportunity to buy in without accepting all the risk that you do by just buying, holding, writing it up all the way, right? If I sell at 5, it goes to 7, I don't realize all those profits. But if it goes from 7 down to 5, now there's how do I say this? The chances of the price going from where it is now at 3,800 to 7,000 is less than the chances of it going from 5,000 after a pullback back up to 7,000 when we've already seen those levels previously. So there's less risk associated in that respect. So so looking forward, I think we're going to see 5,000 very soon, possibly by the end of the month. And then let's look a little bit longer term. I've said this before. I think we can see 10,000 by the end of the year. I mean, is that really hard to believe at this point? We hit 3,000 this morning, early this morning, and then we pushed up to 3,800 in like 11 or 12 hours. That's insane. If we can see that much volatility and that much bounce off this low in less than half a day, can we not run up to $10,000 in October, November, December, 3.5 months? I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. As a matter of fact, I think that it is probable. So I'm still going to sell at 5,000 because, like I said, I think there's going to be another pullback. But I think we'll get up to 5,000 rather handily and quickly, and then I'll buy the pullback again, and then I'll ride it. Then I'm going to be looking for 7,000, 8,000, maybe 10,000 at that point. Then I'll probably be in very long term. I don't think there will be much resistance between 5,000 and 10,000. I mean, if we can survive this and then survive this catastrophic flash crash that we saw last night, Bitcoin can survive anything. If anything, I think this pullback will give Bitcoin credibility moving forward. So, all right, we're down to 2 viewers. There's no comments in the live chat. We're not getting a whole lot of viewer interaction here. So I'm going to move over to Facebook. That's where all the views come in, and there's a lot of viewer interaction there. So if you want to keep up with the live stream, find me on Facebook. Search cryptocurrency, and let me just show you. So let's go cryptocurrency. You'll see this picture right here, cryptoanswers.net. Pull that up. Like us, follow us, whatever, and then you'll be notified whenever I go live, and then you can stay tuned in there. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was beneficial, and I hope you realize the value in my projections. They're on point. $3,000 mark held. I predicted it. It happened. Now these are my initial predictions of what we're going to see in the future moving forward in this bullish market that is developing, right? I think we'll see 5,000 here pretty soon, 10,000 by the end of the year. But I need to take a step back and look at the fundamentals. I didn't pull up any of the fundamentals on the Bitfinex there. I have not examined them at all. So at this point, I need to reevaluate that, and I'll do another live stream where I actually go with some real numbers with some technical support under it. Anyways, going to cut this for now. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I'm wishing you a good health and good fortune. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.